Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF. Every Wednesday, we come at you guys with a live mock draft. Today is a little bit special. You know, we've been getting the guys into Patreon every single time. Snoog and I wanted to give you our raw, uncut thoughts because this is probably going to be the last Wednesday where we talk rookies. We're going to switch into startups. Snoog, this is my favorite time of the year. I only have one more rookie draft. We start to get into those startups. We have Smash Accept 20 coming up where we're really going to, do that high roller league with everybody. I'm just pumped up because the season is right around the corner. We got our schedule out today. There's so much excitement going on for the NFL season. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I mean, it's a very special one because it's going to be probably one of our last, if not the last rookie mock. But man, I love rookie season. So until next year, 2026 class, it's going to be our last banger for the 2025 rookie class that we're going to dive into here. So I'm excited for this one.
And we're still going to be bringing you great content on the rookies in comparison to, how things are going to perform. For tonight's show, what we're going to do is we're going to do super chats. If we hit 5, we're going to give away 1 free month of basic. If we hit 10, we're going to give away, VIP and a rookie guide. If we hit 15, VIP and another rookie guide. What we're trying to do in our Discord is we're bringing you the best content we can possibly do. Over 800 people in there talking shop 24/7, talking about rookies, talking about startups, talking about, values of the veterans that we have in this league. And Snoog, let's just jump into this because this is the closest thing we have to our big board. You and I are going to break out our guys. We're going to talk about who we're going to draft. We're going to talk about why we're drafting them, how we go about it. And I'm going to go first, if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Because Ashton Genty, we already know he's the 101. Snoog, I put a post out there the other day. Ashton Genty, for me, is a top 5 redraft. I want Saquon. I want Gibbs. I want Bijan, Derrick Henry. That's about it. It really gets tight at that point. Michael Lucas is commenting, fresh cut there from Snoog. Look at that. Is that we got a low taper mullet going there? That is beautiful.
Low taper mullet, baby. You know how we do it.
Urbanski says, Dad and Dog been grinding for the first round picks this year. We got 101, 103, 107, 111, 112. Hey, that's how you do it, man. You're going to
say, bust it out.
I love that. And we're here to have some fun with you guys. Matt Glore says, y'all are the best in the game. Been a Patreon member the last few weeks and loving the Discord. Again, guys, that is the place to be right now. We have had over 150 people join the Discord in the last month. That's patreon.com/SmashAccept. Snoog, I told you about this. My divorce is finalized. This is something where it's like my ex-wife, she never wanted to hear about my fantasy trades. Your girlfriend doesn't want to hear about your fantasy trades, but you know who does? Guys in that Discord. They care about it. They're talking shop 24/7. You got Al's in there, Scarface, Statman. Guys are like bringing different rooms. It's literally a community on its own, and I'm excited about it. I can't explain to you guys how cool this experience has been for Snoog and I in this last year.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. People are saying in the chat that the live's not working for YouTube.
I don't know how to it is right. I mean, your girlfriend just says that's true. Girlfriends don't want to hear about it.
It is true. It's working for Twitter though. Oh, there it is. I think it's on. Oh no, it's not on YouTube. It's working on Twitter.
What do you mean it's not working on YouTube? I don't know why it wouldn't be working.
I don't know. Everyone's saying what happened to the live cut off on YouTube.
Other people are saying it's working. So keep it rolling.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know why that would. Some of the guys have said that. Other people say they aren't. So let's just keep this thing rolling. For me, I mean, it's Ashton Genty's the 101, Snoog. I mean, there's no debate about it. I have him as a top 5 redraft. You're not going to be able to buy him cheaper than you will tomorrow. Now we get into the interesting part, right? We're talking 102. Who are you taking at the 102 here? This is where you and I differ. But I'm excited because I think 102 to 104, there's a lot of range of value where you can trade around. Mm-hmm. You can make things happen. So who are you taking here at the 102?
Yeah, I'm going to take Travis Hunter here. He's my 102 because I think he has the highest ceiling of the other guys that you could take in this range. I think he has a chance, and I think he's the only one that has a chance to really be a bona fide superstar in Dynasty, like a true second round, first round starter pick type talent. with Liam Cohen, with Trevor Lawrence coming out of the slot, that dynamic playmaker. He's going to get a ton of targets in year one. He's one of the best football players I've watched just from a pure football standpoint. And he's a wide receiver. His secondary position is cornerback. If you watch his cornerback tape, that dude was getting fried. He was getting cooked all like mom just coming in on the live stream to say hello.
Yo, Mama Snoog. How you doing?
Mama Snoog's coming in to say hello.
What's going on? Let's go.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Good night. Hey, everybody say good night to Mama Snoog. There we go.
Travis Hunter is a stud. So I think with his athleticism and his upside in fantasy football, I think he's going to break it. And I think that he is going to be a primary wide receiver, like Liam Cohen said, and like the GM Andrew Gladstone said. So that's why he's my 102. It is a tier. I'm going to give you the privilege to get your 102 at the 103 and sell us on him.
You know what I'm going to do? Snoog, you know what I'm going to do?
Are you going to do it?
I'm going to change it up on you here. I'm going to take Tedoroy McMillan.
Let's go. Now, that's what I'm doing too.
In most drafts, I'm going to take Amarion Hampton. I love Amarion Hampton, but I think Tedoroy McMillan arguably is the safest prospect of the three guys from 102 to 104. If you told me that he's going to finish a top 12 wide receiver, I would say, yep, that feels about right. He's got the athletic profile, guy that's, an absolute alpha size, alpha, catch radius, someone that's going to be able to instantly come in and work in that Dave Canales system with Bryce Young and catch 10 touchdowns. I keep saying he's my Brian Thomas Jr. this year. I think he's going to catch 80 to 100 balls, cross the 1,000 yards. He's going to become a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. If I'm on the clock, I love Amarion Hampton, but I wanted to switch it up here a little bit because Ted McMillan's my 103 everywhere. I'm seeing people get him 105, 106, 107. I'm seeing Michael Lucas dropping in here. That's Mama Snoog making her debut. I love that. Yeah. But I mean, Tedoroy McMillan, you can't go wrong. I made a trade the other day, and I told you about it, where I traded. I gave up Drake London in a late second for Tedoroy McMillan and what's a mid to late second or mid to late first. And I think that first is going to insulate that, where Tedoroy McMillan is the guy that if I'm doing an insulated trade right now, Snoog, I'm tearing off an A.J. Brown. I'm tearing off a Nico Collins. I'm tearing off a Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I'm getting a Tedoroy McMillan plus a first wherever I can do it. I love it. And now I've created a room here, Snoog, for you, where you have to debate here because I know he's not your guy. Are you going to take Amarion Hampton at 4?
So the market.
I haven't made you do this once, right? I haven't made you do it once.
You haven't. So the market. If I was on the clock in my rookie draft with the 104 and I couldn't trade it, I would take Amarion Hampton because that's the market, that's the value. I think he has the highest floor at the running back position after Genty in terms of like floor. Mm-hmm. He's gonna get you 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. I think Travion and Judkins have a little bit higher ceilings, especially Travion, because I don't think Hampton's ever going to be a guy that can catch 70, 80 passes. I just think that's what Henderson. I think that's what I think him and Judkins are 40 to 50 guys. They can catch the ball, they can do stuff with the ball, but they're not Travion in terms of pass catching. If I was in the rookie draft myself, I would take this pick because everybody's going to want Amarion Hampton. And I would say, give me your 202 or 201 and trade up to 105 or 106. I'd take Henderson or Judkins. That's what I would personally do. But in this mock, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take him. First round running back, Chargers, best offensive line in the NFL, Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh. It's easy. He'd have to be like worse than like Sony Michel and Clyde Edwards-Helaire to bust in this offense. Yeah. And I don't think this is a scenario he does.
We got our first super chat here from Matt Glure. He says, 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 8, just traded my 102 and my 28 first and 28 second for the 101 and 209. My team now is Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Bijan, Genty, Neighbors, Marv, Rice, Diggs. That's sexy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate trading your 28 picks because you don't even know what the world's going to look like in 2028, let alone your dynasty team. But if you're trading up to get Ashton Genty, I don't care. Like you have the other school of thought of that is you have 3 years to get up to a 2028 first and get it back. Like if Genty you could honestly play him for 2 years and then get that 28 first back plus something else. So
Yeah.
in this, and a lot of people sit there on the clock at the 101 Snoog and they're like, I'm waiting for my offer. Don't do that. Just take Ashton
Take
Genty.
him.
He's
Take
a
him and move
stud.
on. Yeah.
This is not a year where we debate the 101. Now, this is where we start to get a little bit trickier. We get into Snoog. I had to throw that wrench out there. You know, like I had to make you take your guy.
I was going to take Travion. I was close, but I want the viewers to not make that. I don't want viewers to do that mistake and burn value. I want them to know the process that we do.
Yeah. And then this is where I look at Snoog is if I'm at the 105, this is where, to me, the 105 and 106 has to be Travion Henderson or Cam Ward. I love Judkins. I feel like Judkins belongs at 7. But if there's a quarterback needy at 8, 9, 10, 11, I say, hey, brother, you need Cam Ward. Cam Ward's the best quarterback in this class. You know, let's talk about this. Let's get the 105 for the 108. You give me your 27 first. I'll give you my 27 second. You get the quarterback. And what's left there at 108? RJ Harvey, Colston Loveland. Let's do it. And I've been able to be successful on trading back from the 105. I am not very successful at trading from the 102 to the 104. You know, I feel like everybody knows that by now. That's what you're going to get. But 105, I've been very successful in accumulating extra firsts. I did one where I moved from the 105 to the 110 and added a 26 first. I did one from the 105 to the 108 and did a 27-1-2 flop. And I really think that's the way to go here. But for me personally, I'm going to take Travion Henderson here. I think Cam Ward's going to be a really solid quarterback. I think if your league is very quarterback friendly or if it's 12 team, you know, I'm fine with going with Cam Ward. But Snoog, the more I look into this, Travion Henderson could be just an absolute dog with the Patriots. You see what he's got. He's the closest thing we have to Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy that's going to be a premier pass protector. He's someone that's going to be there every third down. He will catch the most passes out of any running back in this class in 2025. Genty might be close, but I think Travion Henderson could really flirt with 50 or 60 receptions as a rookie. And if he does that, his value is going to skyrocket. You and I both have him as the RB9 or 8 in Dynasty. I feel like he could go up to RB5. That's the kind of ceiling that this player has. And I think Travion Henderson is an absolute smash at the 105, 106. Are you going to go Cam Ward here at 106?
Never. I'm always taking this. I'm always getting. I didn't get to get my guy much in rookie drafts because everyone was sniping me. I set myself up at 107s and I wasn't getting damn Judkins everywhere. So now that I got the 106 and I can sit here, stick there, and pick them, I'm going to do it. This guy is a stud. I put out a tweet recently that he's the best value in your rookie drafts. The reason behind that is, okay, yeah, obviously a guy taking 107 isn't the best value in your rookie drafts. You're getting the 7th best stud. You're getting the 7th player in most rookie drafts, 107. You're getting one of the top 7 studs at the latest possible pick out of those 7 studs in almost every rookie draft. So what I mean by that is he's the cheapest of the studs, which I absolutely love because you could argue him any day of the week is the best, second best running back in this class, or you could argue him as a top 8 dynasty running back. There's so many good scenarios for that player. His athletic profile, his production was through the roof in college football. 1,500 yards, one of 2 running backs in all of college football to put up 1,000+ yards as a rookie or as a true freshman. Him and Travion Henderson, like they are studs. They both did it without each other and they did it with each other. So to me, I think Travion Henderson, Dad, I think you could argue he has the most upside, or at least put him up there with Travis Hunter and those other guys for having the most upside after Genty. If he hits his ceiling, his true ceiling as a pass catcher, I think he has the most upside after Ashton Genty. And Judkins, I think, has a high floor as a rusher.
I love this. Main Mac said, y'all are the best, making great content always. Love you, brother. I appreciate that. You know, sometimes you guys drop it in there just for the love of the game. Sometimes, you know, if you guys send in a super chat where you're like, what am I doing on the clock? Do your trades. Last night, we did 22 super chats on what it was the greatest, you know, trade show that we've had. Snoog, I just pulled off a big time trade. I want to talk about this a little bit later here, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Cam Ward here. I think Cam Ward, in a lot of seasons, you know, we could debate him at 103, but I really think 102 through 104 are so special in this class I think 105 to 107, you get him anywhere there, and I think you're going to be very happy with the outcome. What I love about him is the opposite of Shedeur Sanders. Is he comes off the plane and my man's rocking just Jordans and plain gear. You know what I mean? He looks down to earth. He looks like he's ready to just go to work. You watch the tape. He's someone that's a playmaker, guy that's going to be the point guard for the offense. I think Tennessee is a really crappy landing spot, but I think if you give him patience for 2 years, he's going to have a really nice top 12 to 15 quarterback type year 2, year 3. And I think that has its place in Dynasty. So I think Cam Ward is arguably one of the best picks that you can get at this point in the draft. And I love getting him here at 107. Who are you taking at 108?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to take a guy that I think I'm a bit higher on you just because I know you're a little bit cold on his situation, but you love the player. And I think he was your 108 before the draft. But I want you to talk about real quick for the listeners before I make this pick, how you're navigating 101, not even 101. We've talked about that plenty of times. How you're navigating 5 through 7, especially 7. Like, how are you sticking at 7? You're taking whoever falls, or are you trying to just actively move up into the top 4 from 7 if you're sitting there, or are you actively trying to move up into the top 5 to 6 to get one of these backs?
I have had 7 in 6 different drafts, and I've gotten Quinshon Judkins at all of them. And I've just been thrilled. What I really try to do if I'm sitting at 7, Snoog, is I go to 1 through 6 and I talk to them. And it's like, hey, you need a quarterback? Like, I just generically say, hey, do you need a quarterback? And they say, no, I'm interested. If one guy says no, I'm going to take Ward. Then I'm like, all right, I'm going to get Quinshon Judkins at 7, right? And that's just, it's not cheating. It's just saying, hey, you know, like, do you want Sam Darnold? Do you want this guy? Do you want Geno Smith? And you're like, no, I'm good. I think I'm going to get Cam Ward. And when I see that, I know I'm going to get Quinshon Judkins, or at worst, someone else is going to want to move up there. I did actually trade one share of Cam Ward, who fell to 107 in Smash Accept 13, who I traded for a 27 first in Travis Etienne. And that 27 first looks to be top 3 to 5. So like, that's kind of what I'm looking at is, I want to get the idea of the rest of the league. I want to understand what's going before I make that call. You are up here. You take your boy right there.
Yep, I'm taking him because I truly think there's a clear path for him to be the wide receiver 1 here within a year or two. I think they took him 19th overall. They see a superstar bona fide player, a team captain type of player in Emeka Egbuka. 4-year starter at Ohio State, led that team in receptions, literally 2,000 plus career yards there, like an absolute stud at one of the best wide receiver schools ever. And to me, he can run every route. He can catch every football. He tracks the ball extremely well. I think he's just a fantasy football like nightmare. Like, he's exactly what you want. That Amon-Ra St. Brown, that Jackson Smith and Jigba type of player, Golden Tate, Jarvis Landry, those PPR machines. And I think Baker Mayfield and that awful defense is going to give him perfect opportunity to score a crap ton of fantasy points. Just having to be in shootouts, Baker Mayfield, 4,500 yard passer, Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin coming off a torn ACL 2 years ago. Now he snapped his ankle, dislocated his ankle, whatever it is, 29 years old. People don't want to hear it, but he's washed. He's going to be washed. He's not going to be good anymore. He'll be like Keenan Allen was last year. He'll be good for fantasy, probably put up 12, 14 fantasy points a game. He's not a Emeka Egbuka. He doesn't have the juice, speed, explosiveness like an Emeka Egbuka. And Mike Evans is still a stud, but he's 32 years old. At some point, his time has to come. So at the 108, I'm getting a first-round wideout, 19th overall pick, who's a stud in my opinion. And honestly, you can get him probably 110, 111 in a lot of leagues.
So here's the deal. You're patient. I'm not. I treat fantasy a lot more like, when I make my trades and I get insulated trades and I move back, but if I'm sitting here and I got to pick, I want to win, and nobody's going to help you win in this draft better than my boy, RJ freaking Harvey. RJ Harvey is going to dominate with this Broncos offense. Sean Payton's talking about him being the 3-down all-purpose back. He's talking about him being, the next guy that's going to have 50, 60 catches for this offense. I think the most explosive running back in this class, when you talk about, big time runs of 10 and 20 plus yards, it's RJ Harvey. And I think you're going to see him be a borderline RB1 by 2026. I think he's an RB2 in 2025, but I think he is going to be an elite playmaker, someone that's going to put up points. You got to be patient with Ibuka. I think you need to be patient with Warren. You need to be patient with Loveland. If you're ready to get a hammer, you're ready to get a running back that's just going to be an anvil for your offense. Snoog, it's RJ Harvey from me. The next guy that comments on where they drafted RJ Harvey in it with a super chat, I don't care if it's 99 cents. I'm going to give you a VIP month of the Patreon because I love me some RJ Harvey. So throw it out there. Next guy, just say, hey, I got him at 105, 106, 108. Let's do that. My man, we got Jamie Angel here. 14 team. That's our third super chat. 14 team, one quarterback. I have Burrow, Dak, and Kincaid. Bucky, Benson, Warren, Ladd, London, JSN 101, 102, 103. What do I do with 109, 204? Snoog, it looks like we're looking one quarterback. He's got Burrow. Set it and forget it. You look at two running backs. He's got Bucky, Genty, and Hampton. He's got three running backs there. His tight end is Warren. He's set there. Wide receivers, he's set with McConkey, London, JSN, and Tet. This is what I love to do because now you look at 109, 204. Snoog, how would you go about playing around with those two picks?
Yeah, I think it's Jalen Warren, and he has Kincaid as his tight end. If that's the case, I'm going the guy that I'm about to go right now all day long at the
Tyler Warren.
That's what I think. But
comment here real quick, brother. Is that you are definitely a contender here. I think this is a contending offense.
Yeah.
I think if that is Jalen Warren, then right now you draft Tyler Warren. Snoog's absolutely right because Kincaid's not that guy that's going to put you over the top. But I do think if you draft Tyler Warren here, and then at the 204, Snoog, I'm trying to trade that. I'm trying to move that for Alvin Kamara,
someone like that.
So something you add another second to get to CMC. Maybe try to, and if I have to pick a 204, I'm taking Trey Harris. I think even with Ladd McConkey, I'm taking Trey Harris. I'm kind of moving that way. I love this roster though. This is a great build for a 14 team. You crushed it. Another guy in the Discord, Michael Lucas. He said he got RJ at the 109. Michael, make sure you DM me either on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF or on YouTube. I will send you a free VIP Patreon month. You deserve it for getting RJ Harvey there at the 109. One more, and we will give away another free basic. That's 4 super chats.
Yeah.
Snoog, you put there at the 110 now. You took.
You ready?
You're at the 109.
You ready? No, 110. You ready to see who I'm going to take? I don't think you're going to like it.
Let's see it.
Taking my tight end 1 in this draft.
Okay. All right.
I want Colson Loveland.
Go ahead and put my tight end 1 there. Let's go it because
we'll do a little
Darth's work with the he wants to know why somebody would take Warren over Loveland, and we're going to talk about it right here. So go ahead. You sell me on Loveland. I'm going to talk about Warren.
Yeah, so to me, with Loveland, I really think he landed in the best situation possible for his skill set. He's a dynamic route runner, separator, yak player. He's like that Sam Laporta, that Zach Ertz style of tight end. You pair him up with Ben Johnson in that offense. It is a little bit crowded right now. I'm a firm believer DJ Moore's out the door. We've seen Ben Johnson.
It's going to happen.
We've seen Ben Johnson in the Detroit offense feed 4 or 5 studs. Like it can happen. He's done it. He's proved it. And he has a better quarterback than Jared Goff and Caleb Williams. What were you going to say? Sorry. DJ Moore's gone.
I mean, I put a tweet out there about Rome Odunze being a fringe foundational wide receiver. And people say they drafted Luther Burden to replace Rome Odunze. That's not true. They drafted Luther Burden to eventually replace DJ Moore. That's going to happen. I think the writing is on the wall here. The reason that I prefer Tyler Warren over Colston Loveland is one, I had him as a higher prospect coming in. I was a firm believer that he has a higher fantasy floor. You and I both had him as Dynasty wide tight end 3. We did anticipate him getting drafted earlier, but elite production, 104 receptions, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, 26 carries, 4 touchdowns that way, 2 passing touchdowns. Snoog, I think Steichen's going to use Tyler Warren properly. I think he has the tools and the skill set both of these guys could pass Sam Laporta. So we're kind of splitting hairs here at this particular question. But I think in 2026, Loveland becomes Ben Johnson, Sam Laporta, right? But I think we see Tyler Warren outproduce him year one. And I think we see his value go up just because I think he's going to be more involved at all aspects on the field.
Mm-hmm.
He's arguably the wide receiver one here. You know, what you got to compete with Downs, Pittman, Adonai Mitchell. Like Tyler Warren could be the focal point. And I think he outscores. I think he outscores him this year in fantasy. And it's not a crazy take or anything like that. I just think we have some good spots here. So I took Warren at 11. Now you get to 12. And this is, I know who you're going to take here. I love the pick. This is a good spot to be in.
I love getting this guy in like every draft that I've been drafted in. You take a zone run monster and put him in an outside zone run scheme with Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, every single day two running back he's ever drafted while being the head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers has had a good NFL and fantasy football season. James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, all those guys, Najee Harris. Who was the other one? Was it Not Rand? Who is it? Rashad Mendenhall. My time. Yeah. They've all been good.
The creator of the White versus Black League.
Literally. Yeah, I do remember that.
Wild.
Yeah. But no, Caleb Johnson breaks tackles, 6'1", 225 plus pounds. They took him in the third round. That team needed a quarterback with everything they could possibly have. They passed on it for a running back. They had no second round pick. They literally had 2/3. They took a running back with one of them. He's literally the only player in that backfield. Jaylen Warren's a good 1-2 change of pace guy. He's not a workhorse. They got their workhorse in Caleb Johnson. You pair up a guy that's decisive, sharp cuts, breaks tackles, good vision, patient runner in his own run scheme like Arthur Smith's. He's going to get 15, 20 touches right out the gate. And I think as a 21-year-old running back, his value can skyrocket in fantasy if he has a couple big spike weeks right away, or if he has 1,000 yards rushing as a rookie at 21 years old, he's going to go through the moon.
So Jackson Dart for me is the clear cut. He's my 112. I think I'm taking 201 wherever I can. He's instantly going to be worth a first. The first day he starts, he's going to spin one deep to Malik Neighbors, and people are going to go nuts. I think he's got what it takes to be a superstar quarterback in this league. I think he's the clear cut 201. I love betting him here. We got a question here from Adita Roy. It says Tet Brooks in a first somewhere projected in 2026 between 105 and 108, or Puka Nacua.
Ooh. I think that all right, I'm going to give you a hypothetical right here. This is the only way I think we could look at this as a good trade. Tet comes out like we think he's gonna 1,000 yards as a rookie. Does he close? Is the first still the gap between him and Puka?
Yeah, but
so?
But I think right now it's more like the 105, but I think at the end of the year it's more like the 112. So it really depends for me if I'm built. We keep talking about this all the time, Snoog. If I'm building up and I'm a contender, I will pay a 26 first. Jonathan Brooks is just forget it.
Drop him.
If you're rebuilding, you buy him. Otherwise, you're not. But if I'm an all-in team, give me Puka Nacua here. Puka Nacua will be a top 5 wide receiver this year.
Yeah.
If you're building,
absolutely agree.
Add the first. It's I think that's really the way you do it. And we keep talking about that at Smash Accept, where it's like building up or building out, and that's what you got to be doing. Criminale Sucio says, "I watch a lot of content. You guys are great. I love that. Those kind of comments really make us super excited to continue to bring you guys great content." Snoog 202. I put you in a spot again. You have it snake wise again. Here we go. All right.
Yeah. I just set it up quick.
So I'm 202. Who are you taking?
Okay, so I'm gonna leave your guy because you'll sell better on your guy. I'll sell better on this guy that I really like here that I've been trying to draft everywhere I can. The market wants Golden. I'm just gonna take Burden here just to sell you guys on why you should take Golden in that top 4 range in the second round of rookie drafts. I do think, like Dad said, like we said, I think DJ Moore's out the door within the next year. I think you're playing the waiting game with Burden. I think he's a lot more of a waiting game than Ibuka is, but I think he's one of those type of players that year 2, year 3 breakout in a Ben Johnson offense just he's so dynamic with the football. I mean, if you look back at his sophomore season in the SEC, his analytics, his production, his film was out like through the roof. And I think he's a dynamic ball carrier. When he has the football, he's very good playmaker. And I think him and Colson Loveland alongside Rome Odunze is going to be the three-headed monster in this Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson Bears run offense. And I think that long-term, they're all 21, 22 years old. I think they're going to be like what the Lions were. Like, I think they're going to reincarnate somewhat of what that offense was like. And I think that there's enough mouths to be fed with a Ben Johnson-led offense. And he's proven that with Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then whoever did, David Montgomery, all these other guys are still putting up fantasy points. I think he can key in on three of his playmakers. He came in first year as the head coach, handpicked both of these guys when the team needed so much out. They needed running back, they needed defense, they needed edge rushers. Came out there, 10th overall tight end, 39th overall wide receiver. So I think he's confident in a prove-it franchise, Dad. That team is you've been around longer than I watching the Bears. How disappointing have they been throughout the whole 2000s? It's like he better be that guy. He better be the answer. And you come in and do this, you better be damn right about what you're drafting.
Don't you disrespect Rex Grossman or Jay Cutler smoking cigs? You know what I mean?
I don't even remember that,
dude. I just remember a game where Rex Grossman had 4 interceptions before he had four completions.
Give us a Jay Cutler comp. Who's Jay Cutler like nowadays? Like a Dak or like a Derek Carr?
No, Jay Cutler was one his own, man. You know,
James Winston.
He was a gunslinger. You know, he was definitely interesting. But there are only 2 players in that Sweet 16 that I talk about that I didn't draft a single share of, and it's Cam Ward and Luther Burden. And you know, how you want to take that or not. I'm not in on Luther Burden. I was in before. The landing spot for me, I can't be patient enough to sit there on a wide receiver like that when I can take Matthew Golden. Golden, as much as prospect-wise, I think they're close. Landing spot, it's not even close. Matthew Golden goes to a spot where I think he could become a foundational wide receiver. 23 receptions of 20-plus, that's number one. What do the Packers need? They need something big. You know, they got Romeo Doubs. They got Tucker Kraft. They have my man Jaden Reed like close to the line. They need somebody that can stretch the field. He's someone that it goes into a top 8 scoring offense. This is it. Because Dwork says Cutler had a rocket arm and a dud brain. I felt like Jay Cutler's like always was just like, bro, and then just like pops that cig. You know, you just chill all the time. But I think Matthew Golden is a nuanced route tree, someone that's the fastest wide receiver in this class. I think he's going to have a bright future. Like him or love him, he's great for the Packers. He's great for Jordan Love. He might not be great for fantasy, but I think he's going to be really good. I'm perfectly fine taking him here at this point. I've taken him as high as 112. I love getting him at 203. So who we taking here at 204? Is this the last guy of this, you know, Sweet 16, Sweet 17 guy? Who you rolling with?
I think there's still 3 more guys, but I'm going to take the guy that we both love. Yep, I'm going to take the guy we both love, and Trey Harris. If he never got hurt, he would have been a first-round pick. If he never got hurt, he would have had like 1,800 yards in the SEC. Him and Dart would have put up video game numbers. He can win at all 3 levels. He can run routes. He can dominate the catch point. Big body receiver, and you put him at Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey. He's the perfect complement to Ladd McConkey, second-round draft capital. He's going to come in. I think he's a lot like a Cortland Sutton, Allen Robinson type of player, like in terms of his skill set. I think he's going to come in. Mm-hmm. There's a chance he's going to give you 1,000 yards in the next few seasons, and I think he's going to score a lot of touchdowns in this Chargers offense. And you're taking him at the 204. It's not like you're picking him 104 or 110 or 16, right? It's the 204. He's one of the highest upside plays you can make in this round.
I think it's really between 2 guys for this next one. Drip Tona says, "What team do you want to see DJ Moore to?" It's the Buffalo Bills.
Or Bills.
Yeah, I mean the Pats would be all right with Diggs. I really like what they do with Kyle Williams. I want to expedite the process here in this second round, speed it up a little bit. This is between 2 guys for me. I was really in on Cam Scatterbo for the longest time, but I love Jaden Higgins to the Texans. I mean, I love Jaden Higgins to the Texans. I think he's going to be a T. Higgins light in this offense. If CJ Stroud can take it to the next level, they already got their Nico. He's going to be their wide receiver one. I think Jaden Higgins is going to have a rock solid, rookie season and increase in value. I think Cam Scatterbo needs to be the next pick, but I think Cam Scatterbo really has the higher swing there than Jaden Higgins. I think Jaden Higgins is a little bit safer. Scatterbo, though, has a rock solid future as well.
I want to pat ourselves on the back for all along saying there's going to be a sweet 16 to 18. We've been saying that for 3-4 months now since the old rookie mock drafts we've been doing. And there you go. There's the tier break right there, right at Tam Scatterbo. If you're not picking in the top 6 picks in the second round, you better be selling. I'm fine with Beck. I'm fine with Tootin here. I like Taylor and Milrow, but I really just, if I'm not getting Beck or Tootin especially, I really want to trade that pick. I really want to get into this top 6. Cam Scatterbo. Tyrone Tracy's a fumble machine. He's not great between the tackles. He's a good athlete. He's a great receiver. Cam Scatterbo has burst, vision, speed between the tackles. He's not a burner, but he has that burst. He's going to run through people's faces. He doesn't fumble the ball as much as the Tracy does. I think he has a very good chance at stealing that job. Not completely stealing it, but like Bucky Irving, Rashad White, like that situation where it takes him a little bit, but he kind of steals that role. Not completely, but for the most part throughout the season, I could see Cam Scatterbo kind of dominating there. And he was a guy that we had top 6 in this class as a pure talent, as a prospect. He got 4th round draft capital. He was so close to 3rd round draft capital, which would have put him in like a threshold where he like literally doesn't bust based on his analytics and production. He was so close to that, but he's going to be a workhorse running back in this Giants offense long term.
The other guy drafted right near him, if you talk about incoming 2025 running backs who averaged 5.9 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns, 20 receptions, and 74 missed tackles, it's Ashton Genty, it's Omarion Hampton, it's Bashal Tootin. Tootin really, he's the starting running back for the Jaguars in 2026. It's going to happen. I mean, I think ETN, no matter what kind of season he has, it's going to be it in Jacksonville. I think he's done. I think Bigsby moves into that number 2 spot, and I think Tootin is the starting running back. If anybody has the skill set to be a Bucky Irving, it's Bashal Tootin. I think Tootin has really risen up boards in that Cohen offense, who Cohen did coach Bucky Irving. I think it's Tootin. I think he wants a lot of these guys, Snoog. We talk about these OCs going from one place to another, and they want the same thing, right? Like Ben Johnson wants a Sam Laporta, so he takes Colston Loveland. And, Liam Cohen wants his own version of Bucky Irving, and he sees that in Bashal Tootin. I love taking him here at this round, this mid-second round. So who's your next guy?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Beck here. I love him. I think he has good upside as a player in the NFL, especially for the Raiders, in a system where it's him and Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, right? And he has a real good chance at being the clear number 2 or even fighting for the clear number 1 in that wide receiver room specifically over Jacoby Myers. I think he's very similar type of player as Jacoby Myers, like that slot type of player, but he's way bigger, way more physical. He does the nasty stuff that most receivers don't want to do, catching the ball between between traffic, like running through people, blocking. He's an outstanding blocker, tough kid. He has a big chip on his shoulder coming into the NFL, and I have confidence that he's going to at least be someone that can return value for us in rookie drafts and be a guy that can start in your fantasy lineups.
I feel like this is the spot where people really start to stretch, right? Like that was the end of that.
It's like, get your guy here.
It's Jalen Milrow. I think I'm trying to get him everywhere in all my drafts because most of my teams operate in a way where I have Jalen Hurts, I have Josh Allen, I got 2 of those type of guys, and then I usually have a Jared Goff, a Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield as my QB3, and I am really trying to get as many Jalen Milrow as my QB4s. He looks sharp at camp. I think if we can fix up some of these things, he's working with that VR set like we were doing with Jaden Daniels. He's a guy that's going to sit behind Sam Darnold for at least 10 games, if not the whole season. This could really benefit him. He's my Jalen Hurts 2.0. Put him on your taxi squad. Let him sit there, and within either this year or next year, you will get a first-round pick for Jalen Milrow. I think that's going to be an opportunity for you where I don't think anybody else in this range you're going to be able to flip for a first. but sell me on here 211.
Yeah, I really like Mason Taylor here. I think
Yeah.
if he's 20 years old, good tight end prospect. I like the film. He's a do-it-all type of player. In heavy tight end premium formats, especially in the late second, you're getting the clear-cut tight end 3 in this class, which is seen as a historical tight end class. All the NFL draft scouts like them. I like the tape. I think the analytical profile is pretty solid as well. Good player at LSU with tons of mouths to feed over there. Brian Thomas Jr., league neighbors throughout his whole career, there's been studs. And being a second-round pick to the Jets, where he's literally like probably the number 2 option right away, like behind Garrett Wilson, he's the guy. I think he's an easy outlet for Justin Fields and an Eric Glenn offense coming from Detroit that is a heavily involved tight end offense. I think that he could get some value and get some playing time and get some good production right away. So I like this pick for him in this range in tight end premium.
Well, I'm pulling up my next guy here at 212. We got a question here from SATX83. Nico Collins and Bo Nix or Lamar in Superflex best ball. We just did a quarterback show on trades with these type of players. Lamar was going, so many different trades with Lamar Jackson. In a best ball format, Snoog, would you trade Lamar Jackson for Nico and Bo Nix?
This is tough. I think I would if my team is super deep and I can afford a trade like this. But if I need to build back and tier back, I don't mind getting Nico and Nix. I just don't really love Nix like crazy. Yeah. I just don't like Nix enough to trade Lamar.
I want to have as many players as possible in a best ball format with the guys with high ceilings like Nico Collins and with Bo Nix. So I think I would take the 2 side because especially at the quarterback position, Bo Nix is going to put up some big numbers. Lamar's a game winner, though. If you have the depth, go ahead and do it. Snoog, 211, I'm taking Kyle Williams. I would have taken him here at 209, but I think this is someone that, with the Patriots offense, is a developing star. Explosive release packages, dangerous yards after the catch, very versatile experience-wise, crazy speed. I think he pairs perfectly with a Drake May, and I think he's a great pick in your 208 to 212 range. You're trying to play on upside. And I had a question here from, Ricardo Martinez said 3rd round quarterback in Jalen Milroe seems rich. And Snoog, when I'm looking at the late seconds, I'm taking a swing. Like I don't want to play safe. Who are you getting here that's safe? You swing for the ceiling and you just go out there. A lot of times people they say, well, I want to take the safer prospect here at the end of the second. So I want to take a Terrence Ferguson. I want to take a guy like, what's the ceiling though? What's the ceiling? He's not going to be a top 5 tight end, but Jalen Milroe is going to give you an opportunity to sell. So I like that. That's a great question. I love when you guys ask those kind of things. We're moving over here to 212 before we move on to the 301. Who's the last pick of the second round? And then we'll go a little bit faster.
Yeah, this is such a gross pick, but you got to take Tyler Shuck at this point.
I know. That's who I was going to take too.
He's like the only guy. Like, he's just going to be a starting quarterback. Like I think he stinks. I don't like the player. I don't like the prospect. But at 212, if I can get, even if he's Aiden O'Connell last year for the past 2 years, like just a starting quarterback for my QB 3 or 4, whatever it is, I'll take him at the 212 because it's basically pick your own poison with these handcuff running backs. They're all handcuffed. No, for sure. So it's just.
I'm with you. Darth Twerk here says he's got a 1 quarterback league, PPR. The only good players are Gibbs and James Cook. Only other notables are Judy and Adunze. Just traded Gibbs, Cook for Nico, the 103 and a 26 first. Should I now try to trade Nico or not? Have the 102? Yes. We want to cascade this. If you are, it looks like it's a rebuilding format. I think trading Gibbs and Cook for Nico 103 and 26 first is a little on the light side, but you're going to be able to take this now. And what I would do right here is I would trade Nico for a 26 first and Tedoroy McMillan. I would try to get myself another high upside piece. I would tier down, or I would try to get some of them 27 first. But Snoog, I think if you're rebuilding, Nico Collins, 26 years old, going to be turning 27. We just did a rebuilding show. I'm going to pull up some of the guys that, we were talking about really buying on that show. But I think he's onto the right track. I think he's starting to move into an area where he's like, all right, let's start moving there. Go get Marvin a second. Go get Tet in a first. And those are two of the guys that we talked about buying on that rebuild show. Some of the other ones we said we were trying to buy in on Emeka Egbuka. I think you get a Egbuka and a mid 27 first. I think you get Luther Burden in an early 27 first. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, and I think those are the rookies that you really want to shoot for. Snoog?
Yep, I like that. I think you made out like a bandit in this trade. I'm taking the 26 first, about equal with Cook. I'd probably prefer the first. And I'm definitely taking Nico on the 103, who's probably Hunter, Chet Hampton over Gibbs. I think that's great value. I love like what you said. Go get Garrett Wilson, JSN, Marv, Lad McConkey, any of those guys, plus a first. If you have to give a second, do it. Like, I think that's like your best way at kind of like tearing down the pyramid, and kind of then you have all these assets. When you're ready to contend, you can kind of build back up like we talk about. So that's a great deal there. Yes,
Jay Frizzle wants to know, Will Levis is a roster clogger. Snoog, I posted that video the other day. Looked like Cam Ward was picking apart the defense while Will Levis was picking his nose. If you go look at that clip, you see Cam Ward just slinging it, and he's got his hand right up his nose. I mean, go stick to the Mayo, Will Levis. We're done with that. I'm looking here at this 301, Snoog, and
so many guys you could argue.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. My favorite prospect in this area is Jalen Noel, though. I think he is going to be a Tank Dell type. I think there's a lot of mouths to feed in Houston. I think there's a lot of running backs you could draft here. Terrence Ferguson's in play, but I like Jalen Noel. I'm going to take him here. I love the prospect himself, and I think he ultimately fits into that slot role for Houston.
Yeah,
302.
It's literally pick your poison here. I'm going to go with I think this is the only running back in Jarquez Hunter out of everybody left that could confidently be a starter within this year. Like, I think not a starter, but see a lot of field. I think Jadon Blue could, but I just don't really like the talent in Jadon Blue. I think he's just really a receiving back, like kind of like a Jerick McKinnon type of player. I think Jarquez Hunter is actually good enough to be a lead back in the NFL, like a true 3-down workhorse, explosive athlete. The analytics are off the charts. Kyron Williams on his contract year. Blake Corum doesn't have the juice or speed that Jarquez has. Kyron's still going to be good. He's going to be great. He's going to be the guy. But I think Jarquez can be – I could see them recreating the Miami offense when it was Achane and Mostert, and they both scored like 1 million touchdowns. I could see Kyron and Jarquez Hunter being that duo. Like, I think that's why they brought in Hunter. Bring speed, bring explosiveness, bring a receiver that can pop big ones, because they need that. Their offense doesn't have that anywhere. So I really like it's pick your poison here. Get the running backs here in this range that you want to take shots on, and whoever has the highest upside.
Yeah, and for me, it's Jadon Blue. 42 receptions, 368 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's a little bit smaller. I don't see him absolutely taking over that role. I think Javonte Williams is still going to see the early down work. But I think Jadon Blue has the most upside for the opportunity he's given. Like, do I love Devin Neal? Do I prefer him as a player? I think so. But he goes to a different situation than Jadon Blue could really take over this backfield because it's so wide open. So I'm definitely taking that. We're going to move rapid fire here throughout this third round, but I'm going to go Blue here at the 30. What are we at? 303. Ferguson's a great pick here for you at 304.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with a second round tight end, elite athlete, blew up the combine, drafted to Sean McVay's team where they haven't had a really good tight end in a little bit since Higbee's kind of fallen off the face of the earth. I just think with Stafford in that offense, he could be valuable. And if he blows up, he's going to be worth a good amount in fantasy, especially in tight end premium.
This is such an ugly area.
I have like 4 guys I love here, but it's like, I don't know how to do it.
They're all kind of in the same area. I'm personally, now that you took Ferguson, I'm still trying to smash the running backs. I am taking Devin Neal here. I think Devin Neal is going to be the RB2 for the Saints. It's not super sexy, but I think he's going to be the guy that ends up being the number 2 here. These are going to be a lot of insurance level running backs, guys in this third round that you're going to just say, you know what? They're going to be sitting on my bench, but when they get an opportunity, I'm going to flip them. And the day Devin Neal starts for the Saints and scores 2 touchdowns, then you're going to pair him in a second and get a first somewhere. That's what you got to do.
Yep. I love that pick. I'm going to go with This is a tough range. I'm going to go with DJ Giddens here. I think
Okay, I like that.
I think the Colts, one, are such a run-heavy offense, and Jonathan Taylor has missed so many games in the past 3 seasons. And we have always said DJ Giddens has so much raw upside, so much talent, such a good skill set for the NFL, but needs to sit and learn a little bit and kind of develop. If he's that starting running back in that offense at any point this year or next year, he's going to blow up the NFL. He's going to be like a James Cook or Rashad White type of PPR machine that can run the ball between the tackles. He's a good athlete. And with Shane Steichen in that offense, he's a high-end insurance policy for Jonathan Taylor, who's, 27 years old, kind of on the back end of his career for the type of player and talent he is, being that like Derrick Henry type of player. So
I'm going to take the wide receiver 2 for the Titans, Elic Iomenor. I think he could be a steal at this point because we see Calvin Ridley's going to be 30 years old. I think he could end up being, he's a guy that I've loved throughout the entire process, very pro ready, could win in the slot. I hope that, he's going to end up being the guy that ends up participating the most there in that area. I think he can win in a lot of short area ways and make things happen yards after the catch. So I like Elic Iomenor. And the interesting part is there's so many running backs here where it's like you jump on those guys. I have no problem taking any of them here over that.
The reason why I'm trading out of 208 to it's more like 209 to 212, that range, is because I'm getting multiple thirds in this range and I'm literally just spam drafting Jarquez Hunter, DJ Giddens, Dylan Sampson, Ollie Gordon, Devin Neal, Jadon Blue, Taj Brooks, any of those running backs. I own so many of them because of the early thirds to the mid to late thirds to the early fourths. I've been loading up on, doing everything 100%. I can to leave drafts with these guys. Dylan Sampson, 4th round running back, good explosive athlete, change of pace guy, high end handcuff to Quinshon Judkins, and he's going to probably see the field as a 3rd down back and it's a change of pace guy when Quinshon needs a breather. So he'll hold some standalone value and then be a high end handcuff.
Yeah, this is where I'm really starting to just you're taking high upsides. You're going to play offenses that you like. I'm going to take Jordan James. I think Jordan James could be a guy that really challenges Isaac Guerrero for that RB2 role behind Christian McCaffrey. Again, I'm playing it more. I like Ollie Gordon. I like Brashard Smith. I like, honestly, I love Patrick Bryant. I love a lot of these guys.
I was going to take him last.
Cool. I think there's just so much here. Some people really argue Shedeur Sanders. I just want no part of him. I think he's worth it for the late 3rd area. Go ahead and take your next guy, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah, I'm going with Elijah Arroyo here. Great athlete, explosive yak player, 2nd round of Seattle, kind of being that 3rd option in the passing game because they don't really have anybody else. So I'll take a 2nd round tight end that has a ton of upside with his ceiling and this late 3rd in tight end premium. I think this is good value and a good range for a guy like this.
I'm going to take Ollie Gordon at the 311 and let you have Pat Bryant at 312. I think Ollie Gordon, there's something that they did not see in Jalen Wright that they took Ollie Gordon at this point.
Yeah.
I think Ollie Gordon is a red zone threat. I think he's someone that can punch it in double-digit times and patch in there perfectly with Devon Achane. You're going to take Pat Bryant there at the 312. But Snoog, I love the 4th round even. I mean, Brashard Smith, he's with Kansas City, has an opportunity day one to get some things. Taj Brooks has an opportunity right off the bat. Isaac Tesla went in the 3rd round. He's super athletic. Savion Williams went in the 3rd round.
Royals.
Yeah, Woody Marks goes to the Texans. This draft is loaded in the 3rd and 4th round. We just wanted to bring you guys a mock draft, kind of go over our guys, talk about things a little bit more in depth with you guys, and help you guys smash your rookie draft. So if you guys are looking for more help, if you guys are looking for taking your dynasty experience to the next level, the best way to do that right now is in the Smash Accept Patreon. $5 a month, you get my content. You get Snoog's content. You have my rankings, Snoog's content. You have rooms to do mock drafts with Scarface. You have keep trade cut sections with Statman. You have the trade corner with Al Kalo. You have, honestly, I have all of my rankings done in player equivalents. I have my buys, my sells. Snoog's got all of his different things in there. If you want a one-stop shop that is going to literally help you do what Snoog and I do, we 3 and 4x our money every single year. the testimonies that we've read over the last couple months, guys are like, I never won a fantasy league and I won 3 this year. Other guys are like, I was winning 30% of my money back. Now I've doubled my money, and those kind of things. It's about bragging rights. It's about having fun, and you're going to make friends in there. You're going to have a great community. Snoog, we got 6 super chats, so we're going to give away 1 month of basic. I already got to give away 1 VIP to my man, Michael Lucas, who's already reached out to me. He said, I'm the dude that responded about RJ Harvey. Looking forward to joining the super chat or the VIP. Been listening to y'all for a while. You're the ones that helped me land Bijan with a cowbell a couple months ago. So, hey, shout out to you, man. The cowbell's become a
cowbell
thing.
Action.
People love it. So let's get this thing rolling. We got 6 guys for 1 basic. I'll throw in a rookie guy too because we love you guys. So,
all right, cool.
Snoog put a ton of work into that.
Boom.
Whoever wins this, reach out to Snoog or myself. We will send it over to you. Darth has been listening pretty regularly here. So come on, fingers crossed for you, Darth.
It's gonna be him too. That's crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Crazy. That was manifestation right there.
Hey, he's got that. It's a Burt Reynolds gift going there. So, guys, that was a great show. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the process. You're like, yo, I can't see the live stream.